Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I am Hanina Aziz Paskara and I will be discussing to you the chapter 5, which is the rules of interpretations. But then before that, let's do a recap about the chapter 4, which is the rules of interpretation in terms of world analysis. So, introducing the law, we have this lafzi and غير lafzi. So lafzi, we have this kalima and kalam, the word or individual analysis, and the kalam, the text analysis. In kalima, we also have this ma'na or the clarity or the characteristic of the word and isti'mal, the usage. Then in ma'na, we have this wadih and غير wadih. So wadih, meron din tayong khas, which is sa khas, nandun yung muqayyad and mutlaq. Din sa am, nandun naman yung makhsus and غير makhsus. Sa غير wadih, nandun naman yung khafi. Khafi is that the meaning is known, however, the application for certain aspect or subcategories is unclear. Then mushtarak is that homonyms. It has a multiple, the word has a multiple meanings. Then mushkil is that the word has a kind of ambiguity like al-qas. Then mujmal, the meaning of the word cannot derive or conclude for external context. We need clarification from the speaker. Then mutashabih, it is unclear, or only the speaker know the meaning of the text. Then sa isti'mal, we also have this majazi and haqiqi. Haqiqi, the literal meaning, and the majazi is the metaphorical meaning. So now let us proceed to the kalam, which is the rules of interpretation in terms of text analysis. Sa kalam, we also have this purpose of the text and aspect of the text. Sa purpose of the text is nandun yung zahir and nas. They are both what we understand or the meaning, what we understand from the text. But then sa zahir is what we understand from the text. And sa nas is what we understand from the meaning of the text. Parang the objective, the main objective of the text. So now let us proceed to the aspect of the text, which is the ibaratun nas, isharatun nas, dalalatun nas, and iqtida'un nas. So these the ibaratun nas and isharatun nas are somewhere interconnected. Then this is the example of the ibaratun nas. So what is ibaratun nas? So ibaratun nas is the explicit meaning represent the theme or the purpose of the text. Meaning to say, the ibaratun nas is the explicit or the main objective of the text. Like for example, from this verse, "Uhilla lakum laylatus siyami rafatu ila nisaikum." So the explicit meaning or the main objective of the text is that the permissibility of during the night of the Ramadan, the permissibility of cohabitation during the night of the Ramadan. So ito yung maf'ulun fi, and rafatu ila nisaikum is the naibul fa'il. So from this verse, what is the isharatun nas? So what is the isharatun nas? Isharatun nas is the information deduced from background, meaning to say it's need further investigations. So the isharatun nas from this verse is that Laylatul Siyam, ibig sabihin that day after the Tulu'il Fajr it become haram. Aslan haram, magiging haram yung cohabitations. It is only permissible during the night of the Ramadan. The isharatun nas here from the text is that according to Fuqaha, we have this janaba does not break the fast. Let me discuss it to you. Let us say this is the night. This is the laylatus. This is the night. And here, the Tulu'ul Fajr. From this is that you can do a rafath in the last here in Tulu'ul Fajr. From that, you are in state of janaba, right? You are impure. From the text of Quran, janaba break the fast. But then here, according to Fuqaha, they deduce this verse that janaba does not break the fast. Another one is that this is the first isharatun nas. Janaba does not break the fast. Number 2 is that goggling does not break the fast. Siyempre, you are in a state of janaba. So, you have to do wudu. You have to goggle. So, it does not bring the fast. The third isharatun nas, or the alluded meaning from this text, is that tasting the food does not break the fast. So, only the fuqaha can do that kind of deducing the text. So, I will not explain further about this because it is too much deep for me to discuss. Yan yung ibaratun nas and isharatun nas. Ibaratun nas, the information deduced from the foreground, very explicit, very details. And unlike sa isharatun nas, it's need more investigation. No, kailangan mo pa ng malawak na investigation for you to deduce or understand the text or the verse given. Let me give you another example for this. So, from the verse of Quran, which is the وَإِنْ خِفْتُمْ أَلَا تُقْسِطُوا فِي الْيَتَامَى فَانكِحُوا مَا طَابَ لَكُم مِّنَ النِّسَاءِ مَثْنَى وَثُلَاثَ وَرُبَاعَ فَإِنْ خِفْتُمْ أَلَا تَعْدِلُوا فَوَاحِدًا أَوْ مَا مَلَكَتْ أَيْمَانُكُمْ ذَلِكَ أَدْنَىٰ أَلَا تَعُولُونَ. From this verse, the explicit meaning is the legality of the marriage, limiting polygamy to the maximum of 4, remaining monogamous if polygamy may be fair to lead to injustice, the requirement that orphan girl must be accorded fair treatment. So that is the explicit meaning. We need to say it is clear and detailed stated from the verse given. So another example is that let us say before the Salatul Maghrib, no? Before the Adhan for Maghrib is approaching, I requested some of you to bring me water. No? So the ibaratun nas there is that the main objective or the intended intention is that I requested water to drink. Yeah, that is the main objective or the main purpose why I requested water to drink. So what is the isharatun nas from that example? So the isharatun nas from that example is that diba isharatun nas needs more investigation. So none of you know that I am fasting. So I requested water for me to break my fast. So that is the isharatun nas. It's need more investigation. From the ibaratun nas, from the given example, the ibaratun nas there is that I am thirsty. So I requested water to drink. Then the isharatun nas is no one of you knows that I am fasting. So that is. And dalalatun nas naman is that derived from the spirit and rationality of a legal text, even when this is not indicated in its word and sentence. Meaning to say is that in dalalatun nas is the meaning not mentioned explicitly within the text, but easily deductible through the language of the text to any person with the basic understanding of the language. So, to those person who had this basic understanding of language can understand what is the maksud from the text. Unlike the explicit meaning and alluded meaning, this dalalatun nas is they call it an analogy actually. They derive it through analogy. So here is the example of the dalalatun nas. إن الذين يأكلون أموال اليتامى ظلما إنما يأكلون في بطونهم نارا وسيصلون سعيرا. So from this verse, we are aware that يأكلوا, the literal meaning of يأكلوا is eat. So dalalatun nas, or the meaning that we can to any person with basic understanding of this language can understand what Yaakulu means. It could be means the dalalatun nas here is the consumptions. Yeah, it is eat means the consumption. Wearing of their clothes, eating of their clothes, using their money. like that. That is the meaning of this text, which is it has a lot of meaning from here. Yun siya. Parang kung alam mo yung meaning ng isang text na it does not need, it is not the meaning is not explicit, not mentioned explicitly, but then you can understand from the text, through analogy. So pag nakita mo yung meaning to say, it's not about you eat the wealth of the orphan, but then it is included, the meaning is that is the consumption, whether you eat or you wear his clothes, you get his house, etc., like that. So yun, it's an analogy. Another example is fala taqul lahuma uff. So what is uff? Diba? Uff is the analogy here is that harmful thing or harmful words you may say to your parents. It is not good for you to speak harmful word or harsh word to your parents. It is also deduced from this na even that harsh words, parang pinapahiwatig nito na if hindi sila pwede pagsabihan ng masama, is what if pa kung parusahan mo, if like saktan mo sila physically, so it is the meaning of this text. This is the example of the Lalatunnas, which is you derive the text through analogy. So that's it. Sa Iqtida'un-nas naman is that this is the meaning on which the text itself is silent, and yet which must be read into full to fulfill its proper objective. So, the verse example from here, so, fala taqul lahuma uff. So, here na, the meaning not mentioned explicitly within the text, but it is inferred. It is inferred, Hindi siya na-mention explicitly, but then parang maiintindihan natin yung mahaduf na meaning ng of, yung mahaduf. So yun, kung bawal natin silang sabihan ng harmful speech or mga salita, what if pa yung physically? So yun yung iqtida'un-nas. Mahaduf siya, pero without that is hindi mabubuo yung meaning ng isang text. Kasi it is required. It is it is kailangan siya is required talaga siya. Hindi mabubuo yung meaning ng text kung wala itong inferred or yung mahduf. Okay, sa iqtida'un-nas naman is that this is a meaning on which the text itself is silent, and yet which must be read into its fulfill its proper objective. Meaning to say, the meaning not mentioned explicitly within the text, but it is inferred. Naka-mahduf siya. So, here's the, yung na-mention ko kanina na example, hilala ko na fala taqul lahuma uff. So, yun. Inferred, sa uff now yun, is inferred yung inferred or mahduf na meaning doon is that the act or abusive word or act is forbidden, or isa sa forbidden. So, here the other example, hurrimat alaykum ummahatukum wa banatukum wa akhawatukum wa ammatukum. Meaning to say is, it is unlawful to you your mother. Unlawful to you is your mother, your daughter, your sisters, and your aunties. So, what is unlawful? From this text, what is unlawful here? The unlawful here is not mentioned. It is inferred. Mahduf. Nakatago siya, hidden siya. It is unlawful is an-nikah. Nikah is inferred from this text. It is not mentioned explicitly in the text, but it is inferred. So the unlawful for you is to marry your mother, your daughters, your sisters, and your aunties. So that is it. Sa Dilalatunnas, we can understand that if you can understand that it is not mentioned, the meaning not mentioned explicitly, but then you can any person who have this basic understanding of the language can understand what is the meaning of the text. So iqtida'un nas naman is that the meaning of the text is not mentioned explicitly, but then it is inferred, it is mahdhuf. So those are the four rules of interpretations in the. And now let us proceed to the mafhum mukhalafa, or the divergent meaning. So mafhum mukhalafa is the opposite, or the divergence, or the contradictory or inconsistent or differences meaning of the text. A legal text never, yun, argument is most firstly, it is a meaning which derived from the word of the text in such a way that it diverges from the explicit meaning. So the example I can give for you is that yung kaninang verse na na-mention ko din, which is fala taqul lahuma of mafhum mukhalafa is that yung hadith na the example is that from the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, man yuridullahu khairan yufaqihullahu fid-din, meaning to say, if someone want good, so Allah will guide him or her for that. But then the contradictory or the difference meaning of that hadith is that if you don't want good, so Allah will never open that opportunity for you. Parang basta opposite meaning siya. Kung hindi mo gusto yung mabuti, so it is impossible for you to, if it is impossible na makuha mo talaga siya kasi nga you're not doing it. So yun, mafhum mukhalafa, man yuridullahu khairan yufaqihullahu fid-din. So yung mafhum mukhalafa is subdivided into 4. Kindly refer to the handouts I sent to our GC. Further divided into 4: mafhum al-shifa, mafhum al-shart, mafhum al-ghaya, mafhum al-adad. So mafhum al-shifa, the ruling of the text depend on the fulfillment or the quality or attributes, meaning to say it's depend only to the attribute or the quality of the text. The example of this is hurrimat alaykum ummahatukum wa banatukum wa akhawatukum wa ammatukum wa halailu ibnaikum alladhina min aslabikum. Prohibited to your mother, wives, and your son proceeding from your yourselves. So from this mafhum al-shifa is the fulfillment of quality. Ibig sabihin, the wives of your sons proceeding from your loins. Yung asawa ng anak mo is that prohibited siya sa'yo. But then, if there is no consumption of marriage na, you are allowed to marry that woman of your sons. Then, number 2 is mafhum al-shart. The ruling of the text is contingent on a condition. If the condition is present, then the rule applies. Example is that وَإِن كُنْ أَوْلَى حَمَلَ فَانْقِحُوا عَلَيْهِنَّ حَتَّى يَضَعْنَ حَمَلَهُنَّ. If they are pregnant, then provide them with maintenance until they deliver a child. From this, some mafhum al-shart is that there is a condition given na according sa verse na to is that if they are pregnant, then provide them with maintenance until they deliver a child. Now, if they are not pregnant, the difference meaning, if they are not pregnant, so you are there's no need for you to give them a maintenance kasi nga hindi sila pregnant. But then if they are pregnant, you are obliged to provide the maintenance for the until they deliver a child. Mafhum al-ghaya, when the text itself demarcate or the extent or scope of the operation of its ruling, the latter will obtain only with the scope of the stated limit and will lapse when the limit is surpassed. So from the given example is وَكُلُوا وَاشْرَبُوا حَتَّى يَتَبَيَّنَ لَكُمُ الْخَيْطُ الْأَبْيَضُ مِنَ الْخَيْطِ الْأَسْوَدِ. From that eat and drink until you see the white streak distinctly from the black. By way of mafhum al-mukhalafa, it is concluded that when witness appear in the horizon. So yun nga, di ba, yung ghaya is the extent or scope of the operation. So you are only allowed to eat or drink pag nakita mo na yung white streak from the block. So, pag hindi mo siya nakita, it is considered na hindi ka pwedeng, you are not allowed to eat and drink. Pag nakita mo siya, you are allowed to eat and drink. That is mafhum al-ghaya. The number 4 is mafhum al-adad. Sa mafhum al-adad, when the ruling of the text is conveyed in terms of a specified number, the numbers so stated must be carefully observed. An example is this is from the verse, from the Surah Nur, verse 2, verse الزانية والزاني فاجلدوا كل واحد منهما 100 جلدة, meaning 100 lashes for those committing adultery. So, yun 100 lashes sa committing adultery. While if I'm not mistaken, na yun yung unmarried, and yung married na nag-commit ng adultery is until stone until death. So sa unmarried is 100 lashes lang. So yun added, mafhum al-added. Parang stated na dun yung numbers of specified numbers. It convey the specified numbers. So that's all for my reports, which is the chapter 5. I hope you understand what I've discussed, and thank you. Subhanakallahumma bihamdihi, astaghfiruka la ilaha illallah. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.